Hello, once again, you're welcome. This is Homefront on EWTV. We are your hosts, the
Yes.
Thank you so much for joining
Thank
us
you.
again today. So, our series of discussion continues ways of watering my seed for a flourishing marriage. Remember, we will always say this: your spouse is your seed. You have a seed in your hand, and the expectation of God is that your seed will grow. So, how will you water your seed for good growth? Okay. So the last time we were here, we talked about gracious words, speaking gracious words. We talked about family time. And today, once again, we are going to talk about setting family values.
Yeah.
This is another very important but little or less attention also being paid to this. Setting family values. What are your family values? What does your family stand for? What is it about your family that everyone looks at to say, oh, this is about this family? Do you have a principle in your family? What are your family values? If you don't have, it's okay to listen and you get to know how to set your family values. And even if you have, are you standing to see that your value is carried out? Okay, so that's what we're going to be discussing today.
Yeah, very interesting topic. You know, if you are not standing on anything, you fall for anything. You know, anything will just go in your home. We don't call it family views, but value is the appropriate word. You must know what you're standing for as a family. If you want to build a healthy home, what are your values? What are those things you people hold in high esteem? What are those guiding principles that guide your home? You know, you don't just be a family where anything goes. Anyone comes and goes. There's nothing. Be a home where when people come in, they will know that this and this are things that guide us. You know, starting from your devotion as a family, do you have your family devotion? You have a time where everybody knows and is communicated. Anybody who comes into the house knows that at this time, this family prays. At this day, this family is fasting. At this so day, everybody goes to church. Do you have a spiritual goal? Do you have your spiritual values that guide your home, such that you, even as the head of the home, as the wife, you practice that? They're not just saying it and they are not seeing you act it. When you have that, anybody that comes into your home know that yes, these are the things that guiding this home. You know, some people go as far as knowing what they eat per day. You know this is what we do. People go as far as knowing what is accepted in this home, what you play, what you can watch in this home. What are the principles that are guiding your home? The issue we've had in many homes is that they don't have anything guiding the home. Anything just goes. So people can come, in-laws can come, brother. And when you have a value, it's a value that applies to everybody. As far as you are coming to stay or in our home, these are the things that guide us. These are the things we do. At this time, we do this. You know, when you have values, people have values as far as, you know, if you are below 18 and you come to the house, you wash your plate when you eat. What are the values that guide your home? You know, these things cause issue. That's why people come into the house and be like, when my sister came, you did this. When my brother came, you were lenient. You were not doing like this. But when your own this thing came, you were showing this. Because you don't have values. You don't have principles that are guiding you. And when you have those principles, that anybody that comes here applies to that person, everybody just steps in. You're not saying it's because my sister, it's because it's your brother. You're not showing favoritism, you know. So that when you're not trying to, you know, deal with an issue, we are dealing with it based on our principles, the values that guides our home, and so you are working based on that value. Oh, because when this is our value, the person should have done that. Oh, your spouse, oh yes, shouldn't have done that. So you are correcting based on laid down principles of values that guide your home. When you have this, then you have a free flow in your home. There's less tension, there's less conflict, because everybody knows this is what is expected of them and they work in it.
Yeah, so the issue of having a value as a whole is very, very important, and to stand on your value.
Yeah.
Okay, so even as children start coming, there is already something on ground for them. They don't just come and do whatever they like. Some people have very beautiful purity values in their home. You don't just play any music in the house. You know, I see some parents complain, oh, my child is doing this, my child is doing that. The kind of music you as a parent, you're even listening to. And you expect your child to be moral, it should fall from heaven. No. These are some of the things that form the heart of children. What they see, what they hear. So you must have values as a family. You know, you have your time for prayer together. Don't say, oh, I and my husband, we are praying. No, have a time where you have an altar for your children. They begin to learn. It's very important. I also say some things that some people do say, my child, once you get to a particular age, maybe 15, 16, you can go to any church you like. That doesn't seem like a good value. You know, you are going here, your child is going here, your husband is going here. You know, it's scattered. You're not all eating from one plate. These are little things that we parents, we neglect here and there. And then your children just begin to form some characters that you yourself are wondering, from where? These are some of the little things you must put in check. Okay, some families have values of, they know the time to give their children smartphones. That's okay. It's good to have values. Sit with your partner and say, okay, what are the values in this family? What is it that my brother will come in and see, and he has no choice but to blend with it as long as he's in the house. You don't bend your family values because of somebody. You don't bend it. It's time for devotion. Everybody comes out, whether the person is a visitor or not. Okay, so these are some of the things that are very minute, but many a times we are careless about them. We need to go on a break. And then when we return,
we'll take a short break. When we'll come back, we'll share more practical areas where you need to create family values and how you need to keep that. Remember, you need to follow us on all our social media handles. If you have questions or comments arising from what we're discussing, feel free to drop it in the comment section, send us a mail or a private message, and be sure that we'll get back to you. Join us again. Welcome back. Thank you for joining us again. I'm sure you've been having good time listening to our talk today on family values, and we've established that these are guiding principles in order to form the decisions in your home. And for you to have a home that is running smoothly, you need to have these principles. I will share a few examples, and there are some others we'll also elaborate on. Before we went to be talking about smartphones, when should my child use smartphone? You discuss that so that you will not just go out one day and you travel and you buy a smartphone for your child. You all agree that, okay, at 18, some families say at 18, some families say when my child is done with high school or secondary school. So you know that is a guiding principle. You know, some families have a time where everybody sleeps. They say 10 p.m. is light out, everybody go to bed. You know, if a father or somebody has to stay longer, you know that maybe you have a critical work and assignment to meet up, you know, and you yourself, you're not watching that television beyond that time, you know. So what you need, you don't just live in a vague as a family. You need to sit down and say, what are the things we need to put in place to guide us at a home? When should we wake up? When should we all sleep? You know, what should we do in the night? When should we pray? When should, you know, when people come in, what do they need to know? How do we have a schedule for chores? You know, just like you're not just, we're supposed to do it today. It's me, it's not me. There's a laid down timetable, you know, that guides you. You know, there's order. So many homes don't have order because they've not sat to discuss what are our values. What are the things guiding us? So many homes, you know, are having issues just because somebody came, you did to this person what you didn't do to the other. But when you have sat to know that these are the things that guide us, these are the things we do. Like you see, some homes, on Sunday the child doesn't go to church. Parents are going, you know, a visitor comes and is going elsewhere. When you sit as a home, you say, these are what guides us. So anybody who comes in, say, welcome, but these are the things that guide us as a family. As you stay with us, this and this and this are things you should know and should do. When there's order in the home, there's beauty, there's love, everybody is flowing. Are you as a father, as a mother? You don't say, oh, because this child is my favorite. Then when he breaks such rules or such values, you just shy away from it. You know, you pat on the back. No, you should be firm. You should know, because these children already know that this is what is expected, and when they do otherwise, you call that child to order. And why are we doing it? Because you're teaching that child how to build a healthy family. Because when he grows up tomorrow and he has his own home, he's going to also live or practice the same thing that you have taught and exposed to them. So when you have not exposed such a thing to them, what do you want them to practice tomorrow? What do you want them to live? What do you want them to show tomorrow? We must be intentional about our family values.
Yes, and you know, this idea of family values, the truth is, when these values are set down and they are laid down, even in your absence, your children will carry on with it. They just know to do what to do and how to do it.
Yeah.
You know, when they see consistency, it's not that you are a parent that today you come out for prayers, tomorrow no prayers, next tomorrow prayers, no prayers.
Yeah.
No, as long as you're consistent with your values, your children just blend. They just know what to do.
Very true.
And unconsciously, you know, you have raised the generation.
Very true.
Because in their own homes,
Yes.
they continue
The
with
same
it,
thing.
and their own children takes it over
from them.
and that's how it goes. So when we are dealing with these values and we are talking about something that will affect our children, you must know that it doesn't stop with your children.
Very true.
You are raising generations.
You're raising
The
generations.
crop of leaders that are coming, they are watching what we are doing. So we must not be careless with these values. These values are very important. Make sure you have values for your family, and stand firm
by
on
it.
your values.
You
Make
know,
sure your children understand
that value,
value.
and why, you know.
Yes, I think we should say, don't just throw it on them.
on them. In fact, some
Make
of them
sure
you
they
sit
understand.
down
Yes,
and discuss
explain
and
it.
explain.
Yes,
You
yes.
know, very, very
Yes,
true. Very, very,
important.
and they will see it in you. So families have values of even the kind of things you wear. You know, as a family, we don't expose our body, and you as a parent, you're also displaying that. You're also living that out for them to see. Some families have values. Hours the children spend on the screen, you know, whether phone or the television, and you yourself, you are practicalizing. So families have values of every week you have to read a book, every month you have to, you know, and these are guiding principles. Don't live in a vague as a family, as a couple. Even when you don't have children, even just you and your spouse, what are your values? What are the things that guide you? What are the things that anybody that comes in should know about you and live with it? You know, it's very, very important we do that. And you have a healthy home if we begin to practice this.
Yes, thank you so much. Thank you for joining us once again. Remember, all we are saying is for you to practice, okay? Remember to practice everything, every day. Once we talk, begin your practice immediately. Don't wait until next month. Start your practice immediately, and I promise you, you will see your home flourishing and your children doing just fine. So this is your favorite home front again on EWTV. Thank you so much for joining the Edits. See you again next week.
Bye.